Hi everyone, welcome back. Still with us here, 2022 in 30 minutes. We have just discussed the world geopolitical situation in Europe, the Americas, as well as parts of Asia. However, just like our name suggests, we're now going to give special focus to Southeast Asia in particular. It's only right that we give a special focus to all the things that have been happening around the region. Let's have a look.
Let's start with Myanmar, as Myanmar's political turmoil is still ongoing, as resistance to the coup, both armed and unarmed, shows no signs of stopping. ASEAN leaders have adopted the so-called five-point consensus in a bid to resolve the conflict. But the junta has largely ignored the plan and the organization has taken no steps to enforce it. Earlier this June, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. was elected as the 17th president of the Philippines after winning the May elections with 31 million votes. He defeated 9 other opponents by a wide margin in an election that experts say was marked by widespread social media misinformation. He masterminded a years-long strategic social media campaign that has helped rebuild and polish his family's image. And last but not least, let's talk about our nearest neighbor Malaysia, where the monarch named opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim as Prime Minister last November. The decision fell to the king after the November 19 general election produced the first hung parliament in Malaysian history. This means neither coalitions could secure a simple majority in parliament's lower house.
Malaysia, they had a bit of a confusing elections because I couldn't figure anything out. Seems like nobody could either. And finally, the king had to step in and decide, you will now be in power. Obviously, we're talking about Anwar Ibrahim. Similar thing happened to the Philippines as well. It wasn't all smooth sailing. There was a bit of controversy when it came to Ferdinand Marcos Jr. being elected, what with his family's past and all. So what do you see do you see any of the similar situations or any other situations we could foresee for our upcoming elections?
Yeah, one theme similar in all Southeast Asian country is democratic regression. Yeah, it happened in all over the world, but especially in Southeast Asia. There are a number of reasons why we have this kind of democratic regression. Yeah, the first one is the politics of social media.
Okay.
The phenomenon of hoax, of hate speech, yeah, it's happened all over Southeast Asia. Yeah, in Indonesia, it is started with 2014 election.
Correct.
Yeah, for me, Pak Jokowi is the first president in the world that won the election using media, social media platform. Pak Jokowi rely on Twitter, but the Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Bongbong was the first president won the election by optimizing TikTok platform. Right. Yeah. So, but we see the similar phenomenon that there are heated debate, heated struggle, fueled by hoax, fueled by hate speech. In this political competition between one election to another election in Southeast Asia. The second factor is COVID-19. Okay. Yeah, due to COVID-19, the government impose a kind of restriction, yeah, political, social, and also economic restriction to battle the pandemic. Then it create a kind of democratic regression in all over the world, including us in Southeast Asia.
Okay. So this is becoming a real problem. I'm very interested to discuss what you mentioned about the election in the Philippines. When it came to misinformation, it happened here, it's happening to other nations. Can we prevent something like this from happening? Are there any lessons learned from prior incidences when it comes to fake news or hoaxes, specifically for elections?
It will depend on 3 things, I think. Yeah, the first one, of course, government regulation. Okay. Yeah, how government can produce regulation that limit this kind of political substance in our social media platform. The second one, can we initiate our own democratic algorithm? If we cannot initiate our own democratic algorithm, then our social media algorithm is dominated by hoax, by hate speech, by misinformation, then the quality of our democratic process will be far, far low. Now we at Lemhanas try under supervision of President Jokowi, try to create a kind of our nationalism algoritma kebangsaan. We now try to establish a kind of social media network to push this kind of nationalism algorithm. But now it will depend on the third variable. If the first variable government regulation, the second one is our own algorithm. The third variable will be digital literacy. Digital literacy is how ourselves could be smart enough, could be wise enough to use the social media platform. It is up to us how we open our handphone and then push our content or download one specific content. It is going to improve our digital literacy, or we just follow what kind of virality that happen in social media platform.
It's very ironic, isn't it, that it's actually in our hands. It's what we decide to do with it. Unfortunately, a lot of us choose to, and I sometimes guilty as charged, perhaps, looking at content, sports highlights when I should be watching more about news and educational things or things to do more with our country. But it's up to us to make changes as well. So I think we need to reflect on ourselves when it comes to that. Thank you for your time, Mas Andi. We really do appreciate you hanging out with us for the last 30 minutes. 30 minutes have come and gone just like that. In fact, this past year of 2022 has come and gone just like that. We're certainly looking forward for a much better and more prosperous 2023. I would like to thank my guest for today, recapping some world geopolitics, Mas Andi Widjajanto, as the Governor of the National Resilience Institute. My name is Paul Palelli. Thank you for joining us here on 2022 in 30 Minutes. We'll see you in 2023.